Well, welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here to some more Fan Fridays. What I really like about this submission is that it just seems like a simple and clean idea that the description just says Z growth. So let's go and watch a Z move, potential sweep, potential shenanigans setup. What I like about that is that, you just go for the Z move, have a little bit going to it, and then simple just using the mechanics to your advantage. So this is going to be Greninja Maractus lead. My guess is that Greninja's there for the map block and then Maractus gets the setup. But we're going to see how that ends up playing out because Hitmontop with the fake out, targeting Greninja. That's kind of the obvious play right there. Greninja flinches and then Clefable follows up with a Moonblast. So remains Dark type because that Protean, Moonblast from the Clefable just absolutely trashes the Greninja. But I guess it still worked because the idea behind map block is kind of not really to preserve the Greninja as much to make sure as your strategy just going off. So right here we have Maractus gaining special attack with the Z growth, and then it's going to be growth for another special attack boost. I feel this would get a little bit more oomph in a Sun team, but we have Mimikyu next to it, so just do whatever works and maybe fun stuff can happen. So Hitmontop's going to throw down that Bullet Punch. Probably going to be a lot of damage next turn, but Mimikyu will lose the disguise under that priority right now. And then we're going to see what the Maractus, because I thought Maractus was a pretty slow Pokemon, and Mimikyu will set up a Swords Dance. So that's actually really dangerous. We have a +2 special attacker, +2 physical attacker. The opponent needs to respond, and Clefable actually has the Meteor Mash. Ooh, trying to lay down that multi-coverage hate. But that's a weakness policy. Oh, so now Mimikyu's at +4. Maractus comes in with that +1 poison jab right now. Super effective hit on Clefable. Not even going to do half right there, but the poison lands. So, technical 2-hit KO, I guess. We'll see where this ends up playing out. Now, Hitmontop does have that Bullet Punch. Is that going to be enough to take down the Mimikyu at that range? And yes, it will. So, Hitmontop having enough damage through that Meteor Mash shenanigans, and Mimikyu, you'd have to +2 Shadow Sneak or try something at that point. But the Poison Jab will take down the Clefable at the very least. So this is the matchup that we have right now. It looks like we need Maractus to come back with as much damage as possible. And we have Chatot on the field right now as we go into Crabominable. If that's Scarf Chatot, maybe. we got to see where Chatot goes with this one. So Hitmontop comes in with a Mach Punch. So just full priority coverage. Hitmontop with that chatter though, going to go for that confusion on Hitmontop as well as a lot of damage. Oh my goodness, Chatot is a beast sometimes. So Maractus has the Energy Ball, and that Energy Ball onto the Crabominable, +2 stab. That's going to be enough to KO just like that. So the opponent with this shiny team getting taken down right now. I'm actually thinking that Energy Ball probably more damage than the Poison Jab on Clefable once you add in like special attack and all stuff. And we can confirm hacking right now. And they say hacking isn't a problem in Pokemon, but at least we don't have to worry about that as we hopefully wreck the opponent in the end. So that's going to be Hitmontop. It is confused. Still gets the Mach Punch off, though. That's going to be slightly problematic for Maractus, but not the worst thing, as Chatter comes in and does big damage to Hitmontop, and it will be enough to finish it off. So now it's just Sarina, and yeah, Poison Jab from Maractus will find that super effective cleanup right there. So I feel in like that resisted, where like Energy Ball is resisted, yeah, use Poison Jab. But against Fairies, I think the Energy Ball is just going to be much more damage. So that's going to be a super effective hit on Sarina, and then gets confused just like that. So now we're going to see hitting itself in confusion. I mean, yo, where is that? We need more Chatot in the world. I mean, is it really so hard? Just throw down a Scarf Chatot. Scarf Chatot, confuse everything, get the damage. It becomes a damaging support, and that's always really fun to see inside of a Pokemon battle. But now let's go into the next battle. Alright, let's get into this battle. So yeah, like a Chlorophyll team, or having a Chlorophyll Pokemon with Z growth could be very devastating. The only problem is, like, we've seen a lot of Maractus and Lilligant next to a Torkoal recently, or like mostly Lilligant, but sometimes you see that Maractus. It's got some good stuff behind it, but overall you are losing some kind of setup. Greninja at least provides map block. It provides a lot of scary speed and damage in a pinch. Like, look at that map block. Okay, what's going to happen? Infernape's attack is going to get blocked, and maybe Aurora Veil from Ninetales goes untouched, but at the same time, that's just going to be a free +2. So close combat, boom. I mean, the good thing is, who runs map block? So that was actually a really just aggressive turn from the opponent, just kind of saying, they're not going to use map lock, they're just going to go for the damage, and, you know, just turning that into as much KOs as possible. That is going to be the Z growth right there, and technically, like, any chlorophyll growth Pokemon under Sun could do this, but Maragdus is a Pokemon we don't see too often, so it is good to see these Z moves letting the usage of that Pokemon rise, if only just a little. So Greninja comes in with that Surf, Water Absorb on the Maractus, so yeah, no chlorophyll, and that's why. So at least if you know you're not running a Sun team, you have other options to explore with the abilities. Infernape takes a massive hit, barely survives, comes in with that close combat though, and Greninja takes an absurd amount of damage, somehow survives. And then we're going to see Ninetales with that Dazzling Gleam. So Dazzling Gleam, that'll be enough to take out the Greninja and then do a little bit of chip damage to the Maractus. So that's going to be Poison Jab. Oh, no. Ninetales does not want to eat a +1 Poison Jab. And that will be the KO right there. So Infernape's going to be really quick to take off. Also, I still feel that Energy Ball is more damage in this situation. But I'll do a damage calculation after this battle just to make sure. So now we have Chatot in. Chatot, that can deal with the Infernape. And then we also just have Energy Ball into Espeon. This battle might end quick. Or Chatot has the Hyper Voice. Nice little bit of extra tech. That's going to finish off the Infernape, chip down into the Espeon, reveal that the Espeon is a Zoroark, and then still wreck people's days. So Zoroark comes in with that Dark Pulse. There's not really a lot of like super effective worry. Zoroark is not a neutral one-shotting beast, and then the Giga Drain from Maractus going to heal Maractus up, and that's just game. What can you do to stop it in that situation? Exactly. So let's just watch the Espeon come in. It might do something, but not really. Like, oh, that's not a Scarf Chatot. It's just got that speed for it. Okay. And then Espeon's going to take the hit, get confused. And hits itself in confusion. So, the opponent's last turn also not going over very well. Dude, I love the support Chatot. Like, just kind of accompanying this strategy or any other strategy. That's kind of cool. But there we go, guys. That is going to be the end of that battle. Let me set up some damage calculations. I want to see the optimal way to get this Maractus going. Alright, so I got the damage calculations up, and it pretty much just shows that, yeah, Energy Ball, even in the face of a super effective hit, unless that hit is resisted. Now, Clefable is an interesting opponent, so you also have to kind of take into consideration what the opponent might want to do as well. There's a lot of high amounts of defensive invested Clefables, so that could just reduce your damage output. Actually, like, even a worst case scenario, we have Special Defense Nature on a max Special Defense Clefable, and then the +2 Energy Ball still doing more than the super effective Poison Jab right there. That's kind of why base powers and all kinds of other breakdowns of interactions with moves and stuff is very, very good to know, because even in some weird situations, the super effective move might not always be the best move to use for the situation. Now, I don't know about the exact move set and EVs and breakdown and stuff like that. I'm guessing there's a little bit of attack investment, because we see at level 50, there's 181 hit points on the Maractus, so it's either missing like a hit point IV or just has like a little bit less, so like 248, not 148. Maybe we have like a little bit of touch into the attack because we know there's Poison Jab going on. I was just kind of looking at some of the other matchups. We have Clefable. We also have the Ninetales. So the Alolan Ninetales is going to take more damage from the Energy Ball, despite the super effective hit from the Poison Jab. I do see Poison Jab being worth it in some situations. It's going to bring up something like Abomasnow, just a basic grass-type Pokemon. In those, like I said, in the situations where Poison Jab super, Energy Ball is resisted, that's going to be a pretty solid option. I was also looking at just Hidden Power as well. So Maractus has a really interesting bit of coverage in the fact that there's just an extreme lack of coverage. Now, it has more on the physical side, kind of. Like, we have Sucker Punch and Pin Missile, and we also get to throw out the Poison Jab. But on that special side, it's like grass, 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 and more grass. So it gives Maractus a really mixed identity. This might be one of the big reasons why we don't see the Pokemon a lot. It has a 106 on the special attack, but if you want to be using Wood Hammer or Poison Jab, you're going to be have to going for an 86 attack Pokemon. And 86 on offensive stat is terrible unless you're like Talonflame or something and have other stats or other utility and moves to back it up. So really it's just like Energy Ball and then Giga Drain, and Giga Drain is going to be a main source for sustain. Energy Ball has that extra bit of base power, so we can go with those two moves right there, and that's why I'm thinking Poison Jab, because you're getting the +1 attack. Like, at the very least, you are getting +1 attack, so you can make something out of it, and then like Hidden Power Ice or Hidden Power Fire, whatever Hidden Power you can get. Hidden power poison could also be an option, but I mean, ice does grass as well, and there's gonna be a lot of grass poison typings. So, Sucker Punch is a thing, and yeah, if you're using Poison Jab, I guess Poison Pokemon are going to resist you anyway, so it doesn't really matter in the end. That's kind of like my breakdown on the Maractus, mostly just kind of looking into what we could do with it. 60 on the base speed is not completely dead, so you could Chlorophyll and then get an insane amount of stats, but that's kind of a more obvious strategy than just like, oh, Greninja actually has Water Absorb synergy, so if, you know, that was a good first turn map block, Greninja doesn't get immediately focused down, Maractus takes damage, well, it's going to be Water Absorb and then into the Giga Drain, so that Maractus is back at full health, still rocking all those stats, and Greninja went untouched. So I can see ideas of where the strategy is trying to go, it's just mostly the hindrance coming from the Pokemon being used, but if you really want Maractus to work, this seems like a very fine way of making that happen. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.